All right, we're back. This is part 3 of polynomials. This, in our previous episodes or our previous parts, we discussed the structure of polynomials, and then we went on to evaluate for x. In this part, this is our third part, it's a little more advanced, and will help tie everything together on shaping your or manipulating your polynomial expressions or equations and getting you to picture the math. And I think I've designed here an expression that will help me cover a couple of points that are needed and necessary when doing these problems. So, getting right into it, simplify polynomials. All right, our expression here, and it's an expression because it doesn't have an equal sign. Our expression here is 4x plus 2x to the third power minus 6 minus 3x to the third power, or cubed, plus 4x squared minus x. Okay, so the first thing we want to do here, we want to look for, now, the laws of polynomials and manipulating the expression and manipulating the terms require us to find like terms, and we can only couple like terms. We can only add, multiply, add and subtract the like terms. All right. So here, it's important to know that the exponents are the exponent and the variable together with the coefficient is what defines them as their term. So if we have a 6x squared, we'd have to find another x squared to meet that 6x squared, because this part of our term here defines our term. Okay, so if we had a 2x cubed, that wouldn't work. We couldn't do anything with that. However, if we had a 4x, or let's do 2x just to keep it simple, I don't want to change the numbers on you, a 2x squared, depending on what we needed to do with this, all we need to know now is whether we would need to subtract or add, and then we'd find our number. So this would be an 8x, if we added 8x squared, and it would be a 4x squared if we subtracted. All right. So moving on from there, what we generally want to do is take our largest of the exponents and evaluate that, evaluate that first. So what we have here is 2x squared and 3x, these two terms, all right, our my goodness, our chalk's going crazy. 2x squared and 2x cubed and 3x cubed. Now, this is important to remember. We need to keep the sign. Okay? These signs, sorry for this line here, these signs are what define our term and define what we're going to do. So what we're going to do when we bring this down is we're going to take the positive 2x cubed and subtract 3x cubed from that. All right, and we'll show you how that's done now. We want to bring everything down at the same time. Like I said, you want to keep everything in the same line, rewrite the equation, rewrite the expression each time. All right, so we'll keep our 4x, and you'll see why this is important. All right, and then we're going to take this here, now, 2x cubed minus 3x cubed, and we're going to say minus x cubed. All right, our next one, the coefficient 6. It's a negative 6. So we put minus 6, and then we continue on, plus 4x squared minus x. Okay? So now you can take the time right now to figure out what would be our next, what would be the next in our sequence that we can do. We see we've done the cubed. Our next largest would be our 4x squared, but does that make the most sense? The thing that makes the most sense to me is we have these x's still here, all right? Whereas we don't have anything for x cubed, okay? So what I'd like to do, being that this is the first one in our new equation, we can go ahead and evaluate that now. 4x minus x is 3x minus x cubed minus 6 plus 4x squared, right? And we brought that over there. So this is our new line, all right? And I'll just do an equal sign here so that we know this is our new line. So now our next line, we've got 3x minus x cubed minus 6 plus 4x squared, all right? So I think that's as far as we can, go. Now, let me move on this side here. I think that's as far as we can go. We've got our x cubed, we've got our 4x squared, we've got our 3x by itself, and we've got our 6 by itself. Now what we'd want to do here is we want to move this around. Like I said, when you're looking at polynomials or you're writing an answer for a test, or you want to manipulate, you want to learn how to manipulate these so that you get a good grasp on what's happening in the equation, and so that you have the proficiency in mathematics or algebra. So what we'll do here is we'll take this right here. We want to keep our signs. This is another lesson on keeping our signs. We want to go negative x cubed, right? The next one down, because we're going to go step it down, each exponent down to our 0 exponent. So we've got 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay? So negative x, and then we add 4x squared plus 4x squared. Where's our next one? Over here. We're going to add that positive 3x. Okay? And then we're going to have what's left over is our minus 6. All right? So this will be your answer to simplifying the original equation. All right? And all we did one simplification here. If this had been a 4x squared as well as this a 4x squared, then we would evaluate those two 4x also. All right? But we evaluated the cubed root, or the cube exponent, and we evaluated the 1 exponent, and we got 3x minus x cubed minus 6 plus 4x squared. All right, and then we further simplified that to x cubed plus 4x squared plus 3x minus 6. And I don't know if you can see this, but the exponents go 3, 2, 1, 0, right? Because if we put an x and a 0 here, whatever number x is to the 0 power would always equal 1, so therefore we'll still have that negative 6, right? So this is important. This is how you want to line up your final expressions. And there's also things that make it easier, that when you're simplifying this, you can take all of your expressions and line them up that way to begin with. This is skipping that step and just going right into moving everything down as you evaluate. All right? All right, that's been it on polynomials. I hope you've learned something, and thanks for tuning in to Scholarly.2018. We'll see you next time.